Hello, true duelists. My name's Craig Fee, and welcome to the New Card Report, the single most creatively named series to ever talk about new cards in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. Yes, the community's own Tombox, YouTuber, and of course the inventor of rules for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, has revealed to us the new Gold Pride cards from Cyberstorm Access. And in true TCG exclusive style, my god, this deck is blingy as shit. So let's take a look at them. A second and last proper wave of support for the Gold Pride archetype. Gold Pride Roller Baller is the single best named card in the game, do not at me, and also a level 5 Earth Psychic type with 1800 attack and 1600 defense, who of course, like all your Gold Pride main deck monsters, can be special summoned from your hand if your life points are lower than your opponent's. Its unique effect on field is that during the main phase, it can quick effect fusion summon a Gold Pride fusion monster using monsters from your hand or field as material. Nice and simple. And it adds fusions to the deck with the cards in Links and Synchros, so we already know we're also getting an Xyz. This also can be floated into using other cards from their first wave, if I'm not mistaken, or at the very least, it can summon itself once you've got lower life points from the hand. So it being level 5 isn't bad, and it probably opens up some easy level 8 synchro plays with the Gold Pride Leon as well. I ain't complaining. That's good. Really, kudos goes, of course, to the design team, because this is the most 2008 looking psychic type monster I've seen since probably Psy-Frames. The key is in that weird ass Jinzo helmet. It's just a psychic thing. And he's T-posing. No, I don't know what balancing is. I play Yu-Gi-Oh! That is T-posing, and it is 2016 in my heart, goddammit. Gold Pride Pinballer is of course the fusion to summon out with the baller of the deck, a level 9 dark machine with 3000 attack and 0 defense. The materials required to summon are Roller Baller specifically and any one or more Gold Pride monsters, and on fusion summon, it can equip face-up monsters the opponent controls to it up to the number of fusion materials used to summon it. Okay, that is actually a really decent form of disruption on the opponent's turn, because Baller's a quick effect, so that's actually a good play for the deck. Color me shocked. And it gets even better, because if your life points are lower than your opponent's, that effect and its activation cannot be negated. Fuck it. Speed Spell 4 can fix this deck. That's a direct quote from the Konami design team, I assume. And of course, if you use that effect, like all extra deck Gold Prides, this will bounce back into the extra deck and summon out a copy of Roller Baller from your deck or grave. And that's actually not really a bad thing this time round, because it just sets up to do that same play again and clear more of the opponent's monsters, provided you have the Gold Pride materials in hand or on field. Well, shit. I may have to concede that the new support makes this deck a lot more solid. You got me. Gold Pride Chariot Carrier is a rank 3 water aqua type with 1900 attack and a fat 2700 defense. It only needs 2 level 3s to summon, making it generic, and has an effect that makes it much less generic by being about Gold Pride. By detaching a material, you can add any Gold Pride spell card from your deck to your hand, and if your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can also foolish a Gold Pride monster. Like all Gold Pride extra decks, that's a once per turn, and if you use it, this bounces back into the extra deck and summons out Captain Carry from your deck or grave. This gives the deck access to the much needed spell searching, and it floats into the trap card searcher to boot. My god, that's not terrible by any sense. And Leon into Carry gets it going, not to mention if you have the means to make 2 level 3s, you can do pretty well whatever you want. Maybe you're a tour guide enthusiast and you don't believe in Imperm, Effect Veiler, Ash Blossom, or any other sort of card that will invariably stop tour guide, or maybe you're playing Xiamen and e-tellying into it. Just saying, there's options. I know I said that I was really hoping they'd be lame in like the first video, but that's some solid cards we've received so far. Plus, we're about to be looking at the Spell and Trap, and that might really elevate this deck. Copium. Gold Pride, well, that came out of nowhere, is one of the best names in the TCG to have ever been graced upon us since Danger Zone. It's a quick play spell that can summon a Gold Pride card from your hand or graveyard, and then your opponent can also summon a monster from their hand or grave, but their monster has its effects negated. It's got a once per turn, and it sucks because the opponent can plus off it. Why do they get to do that? Yeah, their effects are negated, but I don't like my extenders being extenders for the opponent. I literally just said the spells might elevate this, and it's de-elevating it. Maybe this is meant to combo with like the fire one from wave 1 or whatever, but as it stands, this is the type of support I was expecting for the deck, not the fusion and the Xyz. Let's see if the next quick play spell can save the deck. Gold Pride Pedal to the Metal is another quick play, but this one targets a Gold Pride monster you control, and until the end of the turn, it will gain 500 attack, become untargetable and indestructible, and it can't activate its effects. And during the end phase, if a face-up Gold Pride monster you control was destroyed this turn, you can set this from your grave onto your field. The only once per turn is on the effect to set itself from the grave, but my god, this is underwhelming. I get why it's here. I understand what it's intended to be used with. It's meant to keep your extra deck monsters on the field by using this on them after they've already used their one beneficial effect, and then they won't float into the extra deck again, and you can keep them for some, extensions and pushing and damage and the like. But the new fusion floats into meaningful disruption, the Xyz floats into a searcher that can search for more disruption, and the Leon and Link from the first wave don't feel like protecting in the grand scheme. So, okay? Talk about some bad support that came out of nowhere. Get it? That's the other card. Mom, please laugh. Come on, Konami. One good spell card, I dare you. Gold Pride Better Luck Next Time is an ominous start to a card I'm asking to be good, but I suppose that's some dramatic irony or something, because this card, when activated, can add a Gold Pride monster from your deck to your hand, and if you do, you'll lose life points equal to its attack, meaning you've got a Rhoda and a card to set up all your best meaningful plays all in one card. No, Tenki doesn't exist. And it does even more, because if a Gold Pride summon from the extra deck bounces back into the extra deck, you can draw a card. So it's draw power each turn and a Rhoda all in one. There you go, a card worth searching with that new Xyz. God damn, this support is good. How do I make the funny man jokes out of cards like this? It's just competent, and it's got the baller on it, and he ate shit, so damn. That's what you get for rolling on a fucking ball. Inspired by Electrode, I assume. Shoutouts to that Pokemon episode from 23 years ago, Time is the Enemy. Last up is their trap card, Gold Pride, it's Neck and Neck. A normal trap that targets a Gold Pride monster you control, or any Gold Pride card in your graveyard except for a copy of itself, and will return that target to the hand. And if your opponent controls a monster whose attack is higher than your life points, you can banish this card and one Gold Pride monster from your graveyard to special summon a Gold Pride monster from your extra deck that mentions the monster's name that you banished. So you banish Lil Baller for the big baller, or Lil Leon for the big Leon. That won't trigger the fusion's effect, mind you, since the fusion's meaningful interruption activates on fusion summon, and this card just special summons. So probably best to recover the continuous spell from the graveyard, and then if you're summoning from the extra deck with its grave effect, I'm guessing Leon, since Leon Synchro can pop a monster and buff itself and then bounce to bring back Leon, and Leon's like a wolf bark, so it's there's plays here. I get it, but I'm pretty sure ultimately the emergency teleport trap from the last set is better in 99% of situations. But hey, the deck is a lot better now than it was after Wave 1. It's of course worth noting that this deck is incredibly sparkly, as mentioned at the beginning. 2 of these cards I've revealed have both been secret rares, and in terms of ultra rares, we've got a total of 3. Granted, ultras tend to be pretty cheap, but there is hype for this deck now. And if you're wondering about that, the last wave has had a number of secret and ultras as well, and worry not, by the time you're watching this, they've already spiked in price. So if you didn't preemptively get them, hope you don't like money. Coincidentally, Hope You Don't Like Money seems to be the trending statement of just everything forever now, because Jesus Christ, shit's expensive. End point on topic, this deck is, with a punk engine, maybe an actually decent deck. Lord knows Psychic and Punisher has found a second good home of sorts for itself to be abused in, and while I don't think this is the best deck by any stretch, I think this is at least on par with like Dark World, Trap Tricks. You can do well, maybe even win out in entire locals, and I can see this topping at a regional now, which is at least 14 times better than I thought it would be after the wave 1 of support. What can I say? Always safe to go with the gold standard. Get it? That's another like joke about the economy. 'Cause before it was about inflation, but now it's about the gold standard value of the dollar. In a Yu-Gi-Oh video, Mom, I failed that class in high school. And speaking of money, a segue into the sponsor. Shoutouts to today's sponsor, the LIFD Magnetic Display. Woo! Yes, the LIFD Magnetic Display, the best way to support my channel currently, and a neat little way to show off your favorite cards. Put them standing up on a display, hang it up on the wall to look at like a poster, or maybe hang it up on your ceiling, so that when you go to bed at night, you can stare up at your copy of Dark Magician Girl. No reason why, you're the weird one for asking. Or you can do whatever it is you want. Just do so by using my promo code to save 15% or by clicking the link in the description. Thanks to LIFD as always for the support, and thanks to you for watching. And so that wraps it up for today's new card report. Just covering the new cards in this one. The regular update will be out on Friday as usual, because this is, of course, the home of the update. Until then, I've been your host, Craig Fee, and make sure you subscribe to Yugioh Strats for this week's update to impress your smokin' Italian wife, and so you too can be a true duelist. Hello, true duelists. My name's Craig Fee. I'm dying of AIDS.